Today I have 5 tips on being able to extend your food budget when you're staying overnight with your family. Welcome back to Going Out with the Pod. I'm Anthony, the king of the pod. Over the past 5 years, I've been a pastor. And at the same time, I was going to seminary for my master's degree. And then we found out we were having our 3rd baby girl. And to be honest, money got a little tight. We're on a tight salary as well as having to pay for school. And so, we had to get out. We had to go on vacation. We had to reward the girls rather than staying home all day long while daddy's being busy to almost 24/7. It sure felt like. So I learned real fast how to extend that budget so that we're able to do more on vacations. So one of the easiest ways to extend a budget in a vacation is with your food. Because a lot of times you can find special hotel deals, car deals, even plane flights that bring the costs down really well. But the money will get you because it's things you buy every day. It's that fuel for your body. And unfortunately, we can let those costs go really fast, especially when we start to look at the costs of where things are at various locations when you're especially in a tourist trap, say maybe Disneyland, San Diego for the zoo, or in a amusement park. Those are gonna make your funds go away really fast. So just to give an example, as I look at the Disneyland app, one of our favorite places to eat in the park is right over by the Columbia sailing ship there. And there we get just a simple bread bowl. But there, the bread bowl is actually running $11.50, and that's just soup and bread. So that gets pretty expensive if you're going to eat in the parks. So if you're going to eat in the parks, you need to compensate elsewhere. And so today we're going to show you how you can compensate in your hotels when you're eating. So if this information does help you today as we get started, make sure you subscribe and like and please comment, because I really want to hear about what other ideas you have, because these are just a few things that work for us and we want to make sure that we're hearing what works for you as well. We want to hear how you guys save money and where your food budget lies and where you can save money on food budget. All right, so tip number 1 helps with food, but it also helps in other areas. And so I'll actually be touching on other ways in future videos on how to save money in other areas, or when you just kind of get stuck and you need something. So the first tip is actually getting Amazon Prime. You see, with Amazon Prime, you're actually able to get products, food, drinks, a whole lot of, the things that are on Amazon, right? There's a huge list of things that are on Amazon, and you can get them shipped to the hotel. And you can also get them picked up at a local locker, depending on the area you're at, just in case the hotel doesn't allow you to actually receive a package and they hold it. But we haven't really had much of a problem with hotels holding a package for us. So with Amazon Prime, you get Amazon Video, so you can entertain your kids, Amazon Music, and a few other key perks that come along with that. But the greatest thing about it is the shipping, right? We all love Amazon shipping, Prime Day, Prime shipping. Usually, it is guaranteed 2 days of shipping. But the great thing about it is, on a lot of areas, depending on where you're traveling, you can get same-day shipping. So if you order something in the morning, it'll be there by the afternoon. So tip number 2, similar to tip number 1, is something you do long before you actually get to the hotel. And that is actually getting a hotel that has breakfast that's provided as a part of your hotel fees. But make sure you do your research, because it could backfire on you. You see, Emily and I, one time we went to a hotel while I was on a business trip. She stayed back at the hotel and went to get breakfast. I got breakfast on the road, and little did we know that breakfast included was stale bagels and moldy donuts, but the manager insisted that it was powdered sugar. But I never knew powdered sugar to have a green tint and fur on it. You see, eating breakfast at a hotel is one of the best ways to actually save money, because a lot of markup in restaurants and the amusement parks is actually pretty high with breakfast, because eggs are cheap. Bread's cheap. It's very low, but you can end up spending $10, $15 for a breakfast depending on what park or tourist place you're at. It's really important to do your research, because sometimes you can find a breakfast that is fully loaded. It has waffles and scrambled eggs and bacon and ham, and you can get a large breakfast included in your hotel fee. And depending on what you're doing on your vacation, a simple continental breakfast with cereals and bear claws and donuts and fruit, that may be enough. You may be happy with that, but it's included and it saves you from having to buy out somewhere when you go out and leave the hotel. Now, in a future video, I will actually show you how to get the best deal on a hotel, a way that you can save money long before you actually go on vacation. There's a lot of tips and tricks that are there, and I definitely want to tell you how to do that. So in the comment section, make sure you tell me where you're wanting to go, because there's different tricks depending on where you go. Now, tip number 3 is really simple, but it's actually really important as well, and that goes right along with the hotel, is make sure it has a mini fridge, maybe a larger fridge or kitchenette if you can find a hotel with a great deal with those benefits. Because when you either order food through Amazon, which you may not get some drinks like milk and things from Amazon, but usually there's a grocery store nearby or a 7-Eleven or an Arco, some other gas station where you can get your basic necessities of things that you may need to be kept cool, and you can even get a cheap little ice cream somewhere and put it in a freezer there and have your own dessert at a cheaper rate too. All right, tip number 4 is a really fun one for us because we actually have experience knowing that it doesn't only just work domestically, it works internationally as well. So no matter where you go, typically you're gonna have a grocery store nearby that near their deli or their pre-prepared foods that they have a baked chicken hot and ready to go. You can pick up the chicken, you can get the bread, maybe a salad, and you have a full meal for $10, maybe $15, and the whole family can eat off that. It's a great benefit. So, for example, we went to London, and in London, there were multiple grocery stores. One we loved was Waitrose, and there we were able to go in, get a chicken, find the bread, usually, and it was under 10 pounds there in England, and it was a great meal for us. Now, the timing can be a little tricky on this, but so long as you're aware of it, it's usually not a problem. Most grocery stores stop making the chickens around between 4 and 6 o'clock, and so if you get there too late, you might not be able to pick one up. But if you plan ahead, maybe you're going to the beach for a trip, and at lunchtime you just swing by the grocery store, and as you get down to the beach, you already have your chicken ready to go, and you can eat there for lunch right away. Or if you want it a little cooler, you can save it for dinner. Now, one thing as a part of that typically we do because we know we're going to be eating these kind of meals is we have already preloaded our vacation vehicle or our luggage with paper plates, plastic utensils, all those things, so that it's easier to eat at that point. Before we get to tip number 5, make sure you're checking the description below to the things that we're talking about, especially the Amazon Prime. There's a link to sign up if you haven't ever signed up before, and I think they give you a 30-day free trial, so it's always a great way to try something new for free, right? And for tip number 5, just remember, water is your best friend. And in this case, I mean hot water is your best friend. There's some amazing dry soup products that are out there that you can get. And I'm not talking just Top Ramen. There's some really good quality soups. Bear Creek Company, they always have these pre-packaged dried soup mix that are excellent. You can get those in a bowl that's already prepped and ready to go. All you have to do is just add water and let it sit for a few minutes, and you got your meal ready to go. And there's also udon noodles and pad thai, and you have various types of soups there that are great flavorings by Annie Chun's. It's a great product. It's one of our favorites, and those are in the links below, so you can even buy them right off Amazon and they'll ship them to your hotel. So one thing that we do, because we really want to work at saving money, is we go ahead and bring an electric kettle with us. Now, we have the one that we use in our kitchen every day, and so that's what we bring with us. But you may have a higher quality one from Costco or Target or something that's more expensive, and you may not want to bring that to a hotel. Maybe you forget it or you break it while you're out. And so there are some that are just 20 bucks, I believe, on Amazon, and there's one in the links that you can go ahead and look it up and be able to have it shipped to your hotel on your vacation and make your own hot water right there in case the hotel doesn't have one there. What? You're hungry again? You know that's how it always goes in the hotels when you get back. The kids just have to eat again when you get back to the hotel in the night. This is a great way to make a simple meal, and they eat it, they get right to bed as soon as they're done. And the hot water even works for breakfast. Just get good old Quaker Oats, and they have them now in a cup that you can even mix. You don't have to, I remember as a kid we had to have the packages, you had to rip open, you had to have the bowl and pour it all in. You don't even need to do that anymore. You can order the cups already done, and all you have to do is add water to them and you got your breakfast. So go ahead and start saving away. This is a great way that I think will benefit you to save some money and extend that food budget while you're on your vacation. And if you haven't watched my previous video on how to eat out in a restaurant with your family and save some money, go ahead and do that here. And go ahead and like this if it benefited you, and subscribe to us if you want to hear some more. And go ahead and comment if there's ways that you save money, if there's other ways that you may be able to save money that I'm not thinking about, because I really like saving money and I want to hear your ways of doing that as well. And get ready, because in the next video, we're going to be doing a bonus feature on how to be able to save money on desserts and how to get better desserts while you're out on vacation with your family. And get this, there's even a way to get Dole Whip without going inside Disneyland. So again, this is Anthony, the king of the pod, and thank you for joining On the Go with the pod today. Which leads us into tip number 2. What is tip number 2? Sorry.